Today we're going to look at section 4.8 out of our pre-calc book, and this is using graphing calculator to write a polynomial function that models a set of data. So I've got a set of data here. It's just a bunch of points on a graph. And we want to use our graphing calculator to write this polynomial function to model this set of data. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn on our calculator, and then we're going to go into Stat and Edit, and we're going to type in those points. And so I've already done that. You can see I got them in there. To give yourself some time, maybe pause the video and type these points in right now. Okay, once you're ready, let's look at the graph. And so just a refresher on how to look at these graphs. We're going to go to y equals. We're going to make sure all the equations are out of here. They can be in there, but it just might clutter up your graph a little bit. And then you want to go up to plot 1 and turn plot 1 on. And you can see mine is highlighted already. If it's not highlighted, go up and click on it by just hitting enter, and then it'll highlight it and it'll turn it on. So I just turned it off. I'll turn it on again. Okay, and then lastly, before we look at it, let's set our window to make sure everything's okay. So our window, we know our x's go from -5 to 5. And so my x's go from -10 to 10. That's fine. That catches all of our x values. Our y values, it looks like our biggest is 14, and our smallest is -10. So our y's have to go, I set mine to -10 to 15. You can set them something like that. Okay, once we have our window set up, let's click on Graph and take a look at this. And so here's what our graph looks like for this data. And so we need to decide what type of polynomial function is this. Is this a line? Is it a parabola? Is it a third degree, a fourth degree, and so on? So if I look at this data, it looks like it goes up, and then it comes down, and then it goes up again. So this would be a cubic polynomial. It's a third degree. So if it's a third degree polynomial, we're going to write a third degree equation. And so there are methods to do this by hand. Today we're just going to do this on the calculator. So in order to do that, we're going to hit the Stat button. We're going to go over to Calc. So we're going to arrow over to Calc. And then down here we've done some linear regression stuff. The next one is quadratic regression, then cubic, and then quartic. So what we're going to be doing for this one is cubic regression, because it's a third degree polynomial. So we'll go down and we'll click on 6. And then you can just hit enter. And you might have some other stuff depending on what version of calculator you have. Just hit enter till you get your answer. And this gives us our equation. So our equation, the a is what goes in front of the x to the third. The b is what goes in front of the x squared. The c is what goes in front of the x. And the d is what is the constant term. So it's going to be 0.096 x to the third plus 0.145 x squared plus 0.016 x minus 0.445. So let's write that down here. All right, and I'm going to have to do a little back and forth. So it's y equals 0.096 x to the third plus 0.145 x squared plus 0.016 x and then minus 0.445, if I remember right. Yep, good. So this is our polynomial function that models this set of data. And one thing that we can do also is look at this r squared value. This is pretty close to 1 when we talked about the correlation coefficient on linear regression. If this is pretty close to 1, it's a pretty close fit to that data. And what you can do to check is you can type in this equation into your y equals and see how it fits with these data points. And it should fit it pretty darn closely. And I'd encourage you to do that. Type in that long equation in here and take a peek and see what it looks like on the graph. And it should model that data pretty well. Okay, so not all of these are going to be cubic models. If you have something that looks something like this, it looks like it goes down, comes up, goes back down again, and then comes up again. This one looks like it's quartic. It'd be a 4th degree. So this one would be quartic regression. So instead of hitting cubic regression on your calculator, you would type quartic regression. This one looks like a parabola. It just turns one time, so that'd be quadratic. And then lastly, the other one we could do on the calculator, this is like a nice line, and we've done some of these before. This would be linear regression. All right, so that is how to model a polynomial function on your calculator.